Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. Today we're going to be stepping back to Mexico with Diesel Workshop's G12. Not the first time I've looked at one of the G12s from them. I believe I looked at the Phase 4 DAs, which are the New Zealand exported models. These locomotives were built by AMD and GMD of Canada specifically for exportation. So, not really a common thing to see in the United States, but still a pretty neat locomotive overall, and a nice step away from the typical stuff we see. Quite frankly, how often do we see anything from Mexico? But so yeah, it's a pretty neat one. Mexico, NdeM bought, I believe, 84 of these for central Mexico, where a lot of their lines required a lighter load bearing locomotives. Oddly enough, the weird small cab here wasn't really an issue, but most certainly looks out of place in North America. But Mexico bought 84 of them, and they seem to like them well enough. There's not a whole ton of information I could find about them, unfortunately. Not of the Mexican-specific locomotives. I do know a little bit about the G12s as a whole. There's just not a whole lot of information out there on the Mexico-specific variant, but it's gonna be pretty universal to American locomotives, because Mexico and Mexico and the United States end up swapping rolling stock pretty often. Standard gauge, knuckle couplers, the usual song. But let's dive into it. So this is one of Diesel Workshop's older models. They've had these around for a while, but I still think they're well worth taking a look at, and they're honestly worth picking up if you don't already have them. I believe they're like $6 a pop. So, that's what a cheap reskin costs on Steam these days. But also about $6 a pop. I believe they still. Now that I think about it, I just bought this locomotive today, and I didn't see the Canadian variant anymore, but I do know they still have the New Zealand models. If you're a big fan of the Midland route, they're a must-have. And then, of course, they have this Mexican model here, which, to my knowledge, is not a whole lot out there for Mexico to really make good use of this locomotive. But we are on Zaval's hot pass route, where it doesn't really look out of place, to be perfectly honest. So, places like this, not bad for it. Sound-wise, it's going to be pretty typical for the other G12s. Like I said, it is one of their older models. I did stick one of the AS616s over here just for kind of giggles and squiggles to show, but while their angles are really nice, their model overall is nice, their texturing is dated. It's very dated, and it shows. So it's not a very clean curve right here between our orange and black. Our lettering is actually pretty crispy. The exhaust is horrible. That is one of the worst exhausts for a diesel locomotive in game, but The exhaust looks horrible. The lines are kind of blurry. The orange is kind of, I don't know. It's not, I don't know what this is, but it's all over and it makes it look really kind of weird. Versus, you know, over here, it's not really noticeable. So they have come a long way since the first time that they did, since they first kind of got into it. That's actually pretty legible there. Right up here as well. These are fairly well detailed. Truth be told, the model overall still looks really good. It's mostly just the texturing, and really and truly they could get away with updating the textures on these models and they'd pretty much be up to par with a lot of their stuff they put in now. Like, it doesn't sound good, or I'm sorry, it doesn't sound bad. That's really the only two things. The exhaust is horrid and the texturing is dated, but there's a lot of nice fine details. Like, look at this. We can read that. All of this is actual, like, 3D model, not a flat 2D object, which is, you know, sad to say, but something we see pretty often on American content even today. So a lot of this is 3D modeled and it looks really nice overall. I don't like this yellow, but look at this. We even have our seams and our bolts. 9 times out of 10 we get a new model from certain places we won't point out, but 9 times out of 10 we get some of American content, and this right here will be flat. It'll be just a flat texture. I don't know what's going on right here. Kind of entertaining. So it's nice to see that model. Like I said, overall the model is really good. The core model is really good. Nice crispy looking, nice crispy plate right there. Builder's plate. General Motors locomotives, EMD. I believe the Mexican models are all EMD locomotives. I do not think any were built by GMD of Canada. Does have these kind of unique flared radiators up on the front. I think these are radiators. It'd be my guess. Considering our fan and whatnot's up here on the front. This is a 2D object, which is kind of, I'm not gonna lie, kind of noticeable. Like, even the texture for it is off compared to the rest of the locomotive, so that's definitely not my favorite. But our hinges are modeled, handrails are modeled. The texturing is just so off. And up here, our headlight. Yeah, the headlight model could use some work. It really could. That looks better. That looks so much better. Marker lights. I really think it's just the texturing that throws me off. The marker lights are not my favorite. This over here, this again looks better overall. We got our little twin horn up on top here. One faces forward, one backwards. I have no idea what kind of horn they're supposed to carry, so this is entirely a guess. Up front, got our hoses and such. Nice couplers. It's just stark. It's very noticeable how this is almost like midnight black. This is kind of a nice toned down black per se, so you can see the detail much better. Like, the detail is there on this model, it's just so dark, it's so hard to tell. So yeah, these look pretty good. Number boards look good. Yeah, overall it's a good looking locomotive. It really is overall a good looking locomotive. Nothing really fancy about the exhaust. They're quite literally just holes in the roof. I believe these are caps that can be flipped over. And what's cool is they are actual, like, individual objects. Well, certain people in North America would say that's too much and make a texture out of that instead of an actual object. So yeah, even on these older models, Diesel Workshop still put in really nice effort. Like, look at this. This is a good looking mesh. It's a really good looking mesh. I believe this is the actual radiator back here. I really don't entirely know what the fan is up here on the front, but yeah, so the vanes on the doors here are modeled, but like I said, the texturing is so off. It's really hard to tell. Like, honest to gosh, a good texture rework on their G12s would be phenomenal. Honestly, their New Zealand DAs look pretty decent, but the NdeM and the Canadian model, they really look dated. So let's hop in the cab. Oh yeah, dated, very dated. Now, granted, the cab mesh is actually pretty nice. It's not the standard blurry, hideous thing that we see in American content all too often, but I don't like this. This could use touch up. Hey, we get 3D model handles. Windows open, but they make the same weird sound. I don't like that sound. I don't know. Doesn't really stick to me. Got a nice little control stand here. Let's see, what can I fiddle with? Oh, that's labeled as bell, but it does move in for bell. And the bell actually does sound pretty good. I actually do like the bell. And the bell is right up under here. And it is operational, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, something you can barely see, probably wouldn't notice most of the time, but they still took the time to model it, so that's cool. Pretty decent sounding bell. Let's see. GMD. Oh. A GMD plate for the control stand. But the locomotive body is made by EMD. That's an interesting combo. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody that's familiar with the Mexican models would have to inform me whether or not that's true. Gauges, they don't look half bad. Let's see, what can we fiddle with? Gauge lights. That's pretty good looking gauge lights, honestly. I like. You know, they're not too bright. It just illuminates everything in kind of a yellowish tone, which is proper, but they're not these obnoxious little like LED whatevers. So they're pretty nice, and they don't take a heavy toll on my frame. So let's see, we got front headlights dim, rear headlights dim, number boards, class lights, wipers, cab light. Platform we don't get, relay we don't get. So cab light kind of puts everything in this yellowish hue. Your frames will take a plummet. There is no sound occlusion. Back door opens. Now there is sound occlusion with the back door. Not with the windows, but with the back door there is. But the door sound is coming from over here, which is weird, but whatever. Also, there's a door back here. There's a door handle back here. Can't open this door. We can't open this door though. Ooh. That I don't like. That is a texture board and that's painfully obvious. It's very blurry. Not my favorite right there. Let's see. Anything up here we can touch? Isolators, no. Engine start, engine stop, no. Can't fiddle with anything up there, but it does look pretty decent. You can actually read all the words. Chair we can't fiddle with. Our selector switch, which we do get to play with. I'll tell you right there. Throttle. Now, reverser is down here, and can't touch the reverser, but you can touch the sander, and it is a lever, which is odd. I don't know that it puts any sand out, though. The sanders are right there. Nope, no sand. Brake handles. Not half bad. Let's turn that cab light off. Oh, oh, there it goes. Headlights. Front. Cab heater. Can't fiddle with. And horn. Huh. Whoops. Accidentally pushed the button for the wipers. There is sound occlusion for the horn, which is different. The horn is very different. It doesn't sound bad either. The actual sound file is different. Definitely a different horn. It doesn't sound bad, but definitely different. Our headlights on. Let's go. Number boards, class lights. Let's turn them all on. Oh, it's got an alerter, but I don't think it had an lighting. Looks pretty decent. Yeah, I kind of like it. You get up close, you see the flares, which I'm not a fan of, but overall, it does look pretty decent. It's got a nice yellow orange to it, which is really nice. It's not an obnoxious neon white LED. Like the rear very clearly is, which is odd. Huh. Okay, let's turn these two off. So that turns the rear off. I don't know that it made really any difference. Ah well. Headlight looks pretty good. Can't really see the number boards over the headlight. There's our DeM. I like the DeM. Wait a minute though. What is this then? It clearly is front headlights. It clearly says front headlights. Headlights are on, but I'm kind of confused. I'm not gonna lie. Oh well. Let's turn our headlights off for now so we can see the number boards and such. Maybe that's a dimmer switch. Headlight bright. Hey, it's a dimmer switch. Weird. Okay, well. Number boards look pretty good, the number board lights. It looks like there's bulbs behind them. They're not just a little bar, so that's nice. Marker lights are alright. I do think they look better on the AS616 over there. They do change. They do change with the Yuki. White. There's green. So not bad. Not bad, not bad. So let's take it on the road. I don't get it. Can't fiddle with the reverser. Huh. Oh well. Not much I can do about that. So let's roll away. Schmonk. I'm not a fan of the exhaust. I'm really not. It doesn't float my boat all that much. Oh, huh. We got Sean Connery over here, 007. He's driving for us today. Huh! I don't like this scream. Don't like the scream. I don't like this scream on anything. So it's not really regulated to just this locomotive, but I don't like it. So open it up. It doesn't sound too bad. It's a little bit quiet, but it doesn't sound bad. Well, this is wide open. Oh, hey, let's see. We're doing 30. Needle says 30. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. It's just, it is a little bit quiet in my opinion compared to the other sounds. The engine sounds themselves are a little quiet. I don't like this scream. I don't know how else to describe it. That quote unquote flange squeal. Every single curve it just scream. Yeah, there it goes again. And it immediately goes away. The wind down isn't too bad. Sounds pretty decent, honestly. The little puff of smoke when you open the throttle. And then it just kind of puffs. This is notch 2. Yeah, I don't like the smoke at all. Alright. Let's start. Yeah, the brake sounds are not half bad. Yeah. The brake sounds are not half bad. The brake, the pipe noises and such, the air noises, they're not bad. You couldn't really hear it. It did have kind of a slowing down, stopping, brakes applying kind of squeal to it, but that incessant curve flange scream drowns everything else out. It's something that a lot of devs have gotten bad about using, and I don't like it at all. That just it almost makes it hard to want to drive stuff like this on curvy routes, because every time you hit a curve it's just going to go to screaming, and on curvy routes where there's almost no straight sections you're just going to spend the whole time listening to a high-pitched scream. So I don't like that. But other than that, this is a pretty good looking locomotive. I have no idea what these are for. These have kind of irked me ever since I've seen them. But yeah, Diesel Workshop's NdeM G12 number 5876. There is a driver and non-driver variant. However, it is not dynamically numbered. This is the one and only number you get. These are still available on their website, Diesel Workshop. Like I said, they're like $6 and some odd cents, like $6.67 or something like that. Actually, really cheap. So they are well worth checking out. A good texture update and fixing whatever those god-awful sounds are, those high-pitched screaming, getting rid of that, and these models would honestly still be pretty golden. But do go check them out. They are still available on their website as usual, link in the description, and I will see you guys next time.